Before I get started, I want to thank everyone who participated in the survey, and I know you guys are working really hard out there. Just keep working as hard as you can, and I know this video is more about the AI stuff, and we're all going to get through it together, okay? So just keep working hard and support each other. On to the video. I want to make a disclaimer. I spoke to a lot of people to find examples for you guys. I did this in good faith, and that means that I expect you to act in good faith. Be the community of non-toxic people I know you are, and do not bother or harass anybody that I'm speaking about. I'm going to go over these examples in this video and talk about the data and how artists feel, and if you should disclose with my opinion. Some individuals are artists in their own right, and while I do not approve of their use of AI in their works, nearly all of these examples were people who were open about AI use, or they were not open about AI in their use, which there are a few in here. Now, AI bros are bad actors and have been tricking people to get clout for some time, so I am hoping that with this video, someone will search up, should I disclose I used AI? And they'll have examples and they'll have some data. So here we go. Now on to the big question. When do you disclose that AI was used in your artwork? I created a questionnaire of 12 scenario questions realistic for artists. This is hopefully to open the conversation to people, to stop them from manipulating their audience, manipulating people by using clout, or saying that you created it by hand when you did not, or in general just lying. And on to the questions. Scenario 1, using one AI image in a painting or a texture. This is an image that was created by Alex Rees Art. They focus a lot on alien works. This specific work that they generated, alien abstract art, made the image that you see here, made a version of it, and pasted it in the background. She is 100% forthcoming and didn't hide it. She made a tutorial actually on what she did, and people did kind of give her flack for that, and she deleted it, and I asked her for the tutorial because I saw it myself 2 years ago, but she said it was lost to time. Now, according to the data, 66% of artists want to know. I feel like this is really small, and I probably wouldn't even notice, because I've seen another version of something like this a long time ago where someone drew a picture of Lucy from Edge Runners leaning up against a window and looking down at Night City, but the bigger portion of the image was her in the bedroom, and the image of Night City was like a distorted AI city image. And I don't think that I would have noticed it right away unless she said something. Still disclose it. Better safe than sorry. Scenario 2, tracing over an AI image. Now, I've seen this a lot on Pinterest where people will just go, yoink, I'm going to take this and make it mine. I don't really think that you should be tracing AI images because there's things always wrong with them. And a lot of the artists who are going to be doing that are going to be artists who are already beginner artists. For the most part, they're going to end up making those mistakes. And what was his name? Areku. I have a video on him. He did that. He was tracing over AI and using the AI to propel his works. And now we don't know if he can draw without AI because he's been tracing over the outline of the works. And you can tell that there's so many images that have so many problems, you know? Now, 85% of people say that they want to know if you trace an AI image. And you can just ruin your whole career by lying about it, so just disclose it. I feel like if you want people to support you, maybe you'll get those AI bros to support you. And scenario 3, using AI for a pose gesture. This is an image I found, and here's the gesture that I got from it. It's super rough, no details, just shapes really. And when it comes to artists about this, it's really split 50-50 nearly. I don't really think that this is a big deal myself. Maybe it's because you aren't taking the style, the clothing, the idea, just a really rough version of the pose. And I think it's up to the person to disclose whether they tell people that they use it because it's such an early part of the drawing. I feel like it doesn't even matter, but some people might care about that, so it's really up to you. Scenario 4, AI was painted over and used as a starting point, kind of like how Ross Draws does it, where he builds up, right? So Yume has been using AI in her works for a minute. Not every work, but some of them. And she had some controversy, and you can go see that in Catliente's video. But you can tell that she used this as a starting point. You can see what's wrong with the doors there, but everything else is drawn really well, but it doesn't truly match. So you can see that Kiki in the front isn't blended properly, so she stands out. And 86% of artists want to know that AI was used, and she did not admit it. So that's the problem, is that she did not admit it, and people had to go searching her account, because you lose credibility when you don't admit that you could have used AI in your images. So you must disclose. 86% is a big percent, so you must disclose if you used AI as a starting point and it's still in the end image. Scenario 5, using AI for a general reference, background painting, hair color, or style. Now, for my example, I found this image, and I'm going to use these colors for Dust's hair color because for some reason AI just really makes trash images with holographics, and I was looking for green holographics, but I wasn't sure how to make that happen, so this is one of the images that came up. So when I draw her hair, you'll be able to see how I used it. But in general, this was like 61% of people say that they don't care. I don't care. I think it's fine to not disclose that you saw something and you took the color or you took the design from it. I mean, it's not copyrighted material. You can really get inspiration from anywhere. If you saw something that was like, you know, a sunset with pink clouds and you really like that, it just happened to be an AI image, I don't really care if you like that and you decide to make your own version. But because there's that 40-something%, I still think that because it's kind of like 60-40 instead of 50-50, I think that I'm being open about it now because I needed a reference so that I could show you guys how it's being used. But 48% wants to know that AI was used, even if it's just a generalized picture you found on the internet. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, there's going to be images on the internet where people are going to use them as references and not know that they were AI. So that's why I said it's kind of like really muddy right there, because once you find something and you like it, and you know, I have the eyes for AI, but some people don't. And they'll just take an image and go, oh, this looks great. I'll just use this version, and I'll just make my own version of this. So I don't know. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments. Scenario 6, I photo bashed 4 images. 2 of them were AI. As an example, we're gonna go watch a little bit of this video from this guy named Oots Oots. From what he told me, he said that he used AI as a stock image maker. Now, he's a concept designer, and while he has other stock images, the humans and some of the other parts are AI, like the monster is probably generated, and then he paints around it and recreates it and makes it with different other stock images. So there's so many stock images used in this collage and then he's able to paint over them and make them mesh really well that you can't really tell that AI was ever used in this. But at the same time, he didn't hide it either. You know, he told me, and this was like a year ago, but I did want to preface this part with that he was the most nervous of all the people I spoke to. So if you decide to check out his channel or you decide to find him on Instagram, do not be mean to him. We all hate AI here, and AI is the enemy, but we don't need to be mean to people, okay? There is a person behind every computer. Unless there's a reason, we don't need to go to attack somebody. 70% of you want to know AI was used, and that's fair, especially if you wouldn't even be able to tell in the end image. So, I mean, disclose it. Disclose it. 70% of people want to know, so you have to disclose. Scenario 7, using AI to generate thumbnails for ideas. As an example of how this is correlated, there is the recent Miku thing, and Sam Does Art covers it, where an AI generated image was Miku, and a lot of people thought it was interesting, and they made their own version of it to take it back because the AI image got so much attention. And the AI image kind of looks bad from all the artifacts, but I wanted to highlight Crab Kitty's pixel art because it looks so cool compared to the crappy AI version. But still, they got the idea from an AI image, but how do artists feel about this? This is kind of like a back and forth. Some consider it taking back, and some consider it's giving reason for AI to exist. In general, it's very close to 50-50. 55% still wins, but people out there want to know. But I really feel this is like up to the person, because I feel like everyone who has done this has disclosed they used AI. Like they showed the image, and they showed their version of it. Like a draw this in your style type thing. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think about that, because I have more subscribers than people who voted. I have 2 examples from the same artist. He is a private artist that I spoke to. He does not post his work online, but here are 2 examples. In this one, he drew the characters and blended them into the background. And the second one is kind of the same, but we're going to go look over the process. Now, he basically draws everything about the character and the character is casting a spell of some sort, and there's like a foreground stuff that he's drawing, and then there's a jump cut where he puts in the AI image and he repaints over part of it while keeping the back part. Now, he told me that the reason why he did this is so it could save him some time, because drawing backgrounds is where he's really weak, and it's only for his private work, and he has never done any commissions with it. He was open about telling me that he used AI. Now, 82% said that you need to disclose it, and that's fair. I'm not even going to say anything. I think that makes sense. I'm not sure why people wouldn't care, but I am just thinking that maybe they don't care because it's just a background thing, and maybe it's small, and stuff like clouds and stuff might not matter to some artists. So now, grabbing a color palette or composition from an AI image on Pinterest. Now, I found this image and I'm going to use it as a color palette for my demon from Inktober from last year. Obviously, this is not going to be one for one, but I just like the colors, and it has a cool back and forth part, and we'll see. I'm probably going to change it to slightly different colors, but you'll be able to check it out on Instagram or Kara when I'm done with it. Anyway, this is a 70% overwhelming that people don't care. Don't bother disclosing that you liked some of the colors on an AI image. If you all get inspired by some colors on a keychain or a piece of fabric, a random slop image with colors on it aren't going to do anything. So you can't steal colors. I don't think that you should generate images to make a color composition. There is enough images on Pinterest. So scenario 10, took a commission and used AI to finish it. Now, there's a lot of these on the internet, but I had a hard time finding something very specific. So I did find someone though, and we're going to go over Child's video since he said that he used AI, he used Stable Diffusion, and he basically redraws parts of it and then paints over it. He admitted that he uses AI. I mean, the customer knows. I do not agree with it, but what are you going to do? Of course, the data is 89% firm, disclose, and he did. So, I mean, if everybody knows what everybody's doing, I mean, I can't even, what am I going to say? I mean, I'm going to tell them I don't think you should use it, but at the end of the day, it's between those two people, and that's none of my business. Scenario 11. The client shows you AI images for inspiration of what they wanted as a placeholder. The final images are not AI, and it will be posted to social media. It was actually hard to find this, but I found a board game that used AI and also hired artists to do the work, similar to that one Jazza video. So it's like a mix of human and AI content. Now, the AI content was clearly used for pre-process, probably, and the artist does their own rendition from what I noticed. But I could be wrong. You can feel free to tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I want to put the links down below. I was really surprised to find that people don't care if artists getting paid, and if AI images are used for a placeholder for the artist to finish, 71% is a pretty big margin, and I'm assuming the 28% want to know because they're more anti-generative images than I am, and don't think it belongs in the process at all. And if I'm wrong on that, feel free to correct me. So here's the final one. It's pretty easy. The scenario 12 is AI is used for 90% of the images or more. This is Michelle Hofner's work that is generally cleaned up AI, a lot of Tia Sketch's work where the AI itself is put back in at some point, or just AI content in general. There was an overwhelming amount of people that wanted to know at 92%. I'm assuming the 8% is because some people just don't care about AI as much as I do, or a lot of us do. And that wraps it up. Overall, I was surprised with some of these answers and not by some. I hope this video finds the right eyes and those who are using AI and hiding it. I hope that if you see this video and it helps you out on whether or not you decide to use AI in your process, I hope you make your decision based on what you've seen here, because this is data that I collected, and this survey was sent out on all my socials, and I had 113 people reply to it, and I really appreciated all those people who did the voting. And I did post this on various places. I posted on Discord, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. So it was really a struggle, but I wanted to have more than 30 samples, so I got it. For me, I want to know if you actually used it in the work. For me, if it's more of an inspiration, I don't care But if you used it directly inside the work in any capacity, I think that you should probably tell people. In closing, I was worried about this video. I was worried about what you guys would think about me. Maybe you wouldn't understand, or maybe you would get mad at me for wanting to make a video on about how artists feel about this. And if someone comes to this video, I want them to know what they should do if they want to use AI on their own. I want there to be an answer. And if you guys are interested in the Carla Ortiz case, which surrounds itself around AI, I have a video about it right here that you can watch and click away at the end of this video. But I have a video that I'm going to plan to do next week on how to fix your Pinterest board. I know that a lot of people have a lot of AI images on their Pinterest board, and I'm going to teach you how to fix it. Because my Pinterest board has almost no AI images ever. So I will see you in the next one, guys, and have a good weekend.